Hey there, Pod Pals. Do you feel like you could use a little bit of help with your podcast launch, growth, or with converting your podcast listeners into becoming your best clients? I want you to head on over to my website, www.podcastingbusiness.school, and watch the 4-minute video that talks about who I help and exactly how I can help them out. Next, I want you to click on the Discovery Call button to set up a free podcast profit potential discovery call where we can talk about working together to help you reach your podcasting and online business goals. Head on over to my website, www.podcastingbusiness.school, and get signed up for your free podcast profit potential discovery call. What's up, Pod Pals? It's your buddy Adam, and you are listening to Podcasting Business School. It's the show where I teach podcasters how to love their podcast like a hobby and build it like a business. If you are a coach, consultant, or a service provider that's looking to learn how to leverage your podcast to get more clients and build your online business, you are in the right spot. Today, we're talking about a brand new lead magnet idea that I came up with. Actually, I was doing a little coaching session with somebody from my Download Growth Club membership. And as always, when I do these sorts of things, we come up with ideas. And I really, really like this one. It is a new listener resource guide lead magnet. The issue was this individual is not a coach. They're not a consultant. So I do coach people that don't fit in that category. She's just interested in growing her show, and she's in the Download Growth Club, and we were doing a one-on-one, and she's like, what do? I don't sell a thing. I don't really have a lead magnet that leads into like a funnel or anything like that. There's no purpose for that for her. So we came up with this idea as a new listener resource guide and to promote that. And she really liked it. And as far as I know, she's out there implementing it. So I was like, I need to create one of these, and I do need to do an episode because I feel like this could fit for every single one of us. And it could be even more powerful for those of us that are coaches, consultants, and service providers trying to attract our ideal clients and get them to move a little bit closer and build a real relationship with them, get them on our email list, get them listening to our best episodes that we would love for them to listen to. So I like this idea a lot. I went out and created this resource yesterday. It took me about 90 minutes total to map this out. I think you all will be able to do this a little bit quicker than me just by using my template I'm going to map out here today. I do, highly recommend that you download my new listener resource guide for this show. It's just podcastingbusiness.school/guide. I'll put the link in the episode notes, but see how easy it was just for me to drop that and to say, hey, any new listeners out there, make sure you download my new listener resource guide. Head on over to podcastingbusiness.school/guide. Simple, right? So that's how easy it's going to be for you to just link drop this via the audio of your podcast and attract your new listeners. Hey, if I'm a brand new listener of a show, it's kind of like the new listener onboarding system is what we're trying to create. And this is going to get your new listeners onto your email list. And again, ideally listening to your best episodes and tapping into your most recommended resources and kind of just getting them infused into your world. So I've got 10 components of this new listener resource guide. And again, when you download mine, you can use that as a template. I just created this on a Word doc, a Google Doc, not a Word, a Google Doc. And so that's, a free thing that you can create. And I got the link, and that's what the opt-in page is connected to. Now, you do need to put this on the other side of an email opt-in. That is important because we're trying to use this to build our email list. So that is a thing that's very, very important. So I just did a Google Doc. I thought about making like a mini course where I have a little video that explains each thing. But I was like, I want to just do this quick and dirty, get it done, create a resource, get it out to you all. And if I want to fancy it up a little bit later, I can. But this took me 90 minutes total to create the opt-in page and the resource itself. Anytime we are creating a downloadable resource as a lead magnet, we have to make sure primarily that it does not suck, that it is one of those things that's like the bait and switch or like, hey, I got your email address. And here's this thing that's 4 sentences and 4 tips that nobody will really like. So I've got 10 different sections that I want you to consider adding. And as you do this, if you're like, oh, I did this and it worked really well, or I added this segment and people really love it, let me know. This is a work in progress. Like I literally created this yesterday for my show and now I'm podcasting about it. So that is how I roll. When I get a hot idea, I like to tell you all about it, and we can kind of crowdsource this, and let's see if we can make it even better. So this is kind of the rough draft version that we're talking about here today. All right. We are going to dive in here on my 10 components of the new listener resource guide. The first thing that I included was just a quick note from me, just kind of welcoming them as a new listener, explaining what the resource guide is about, who it's for, and I put my email address. You'll see I'm like, hey, if you have any questions, I love connecting with people that listen to my show. Do not hesitate to email me. And I also mention I answer all my own emails, which if that's not you, then do not say that. But I do answer all my own emails. I don't let anybody pretend to be me on social media or via email. That's very important to me because I want to develop, real and direct relationships with my listeners. So that first part, quick note for me, it's like 4 sentences. The next part, we're going to include links to your top 5 to 10 episodes. Now, I shared this lead magnet inside the Download Growth Club membership. We got a little chat board, and my client Lorianne Murbito was like, "Hey, are these really your top most popular episodes, or are these just the episodes that you want your ideal listener / client listening to?" And I replied, I'm like, it's kind of both at this point. Uh, the ones that I listed are my most listened to episodes, but they're probably my most listened to episodes because I promote them the hardest. And I do put those in email funnels, and I do mention those when I guest on other people's podcasts. So it's kind of both for me. For you, I would definitely think, what are the 5 to 10 episodes that you would love if your ideal potential client latches onto this? What episodes do you want them listening to? And think about, again, what calls to action you have in those episodes. Are you promoting another lead magnet? Are you promoting a discovery call maybe, or an offer that you really want them to get eyeballs on? Then, and think about all those things. So that's kind of the perfect storm of 5 to 10 episodes that you ideally want your ideal potential clients listening to, or your ideal avatar listener listening to. So that's the first thing. I just listed them. You'll see it when you download the resource. Super simple. Episode name and number, link to it. Let's go. So that's the second part of this lead magnet. The third one is links to all of my free resources and or lead magnets. So I've got a few other lead magnets like my podcast growth scorecard. I put my link on how to sign up for a podcast audit, how to sign up for a PodPal Zoom party. So list them all and let them pick like what's interesting to them. They can click on it and download it and get plugged into that as well. The next segment is links to all my offers and a little side note for a discovery call. So I listed my 4 core offers with links. I didn't really put a description in there yet because all my names are pretty self-explanatory, like the podcast listener to client conversion program. All right. So the online business academy for podcasters, the download growth club, the podcast launch blueprint. Those are my 4 offers. All the links are in there. And then underneath that, little asterisk, hey, if you need to talk about which offer is the best starting place for you, sign up for my podcast profit potential discovery call. So that's all right there. Next, I put all of the links for my coupon codes, my affiliate partners. So anything that I can save people money with a discount code, and I do mention that they are affiliate links. So, being, all up to par on that, how we have to say, hey, I'm getting paid for this. But these are trusted resources and affiliate partners that I promote. Here are my best promo codes, links, all that stuff. Save them some money and give them additional resources. The next section, book recommendations. I listed 5 entrepreneurship and business books that I love, that I'm so glad that I found and that I read or listened to on Audible. And all of those are Amazon affiliate links as well. So, if they go in there and buy some books, you can get that sweet Amazon affiliate cash, get a few bucks sent your way in the mail or via PayPal. So, top book recommendations. That's another great resource of, hey, if you listen to my show, you're probably going to really love these books. I sure did. Next section. Let's see here. Other podcast recommendations. All right. So other podcast recommendations that if they like your show, they're going to love these shows. I put 5 in there. I think 5 to 10 is going to be a good number. Or maybe it's just 5 shows that you love. Really, this is about them more than about you. So if you have this sweet spot of shows that you think your ideal listener is going to love and that you also love, then that's a great little link. And I'm just putting all Apple Podcast links in there. for those. If you want to put Apple and Spotify or whatever, but people that have podcasts, people that listen to podcasts in generally can find podcasts now wherever they're listening. They can just hit the search bar and just make sure the name is really clear. And they say, oh, that's the name of the show. Let me search that up because I listen on Good Pods or Overcast or something like that. The next section is your social media links. All right. Your social media links of where you like to hang out in case that's where they like to hang out too. Right. So I put Threads and Instagram on there. I just kind of kept it simple because I'm not super active on any other platform, although I'm dabbling a bit. I'm experimenting a bit, as I've mentioned on previous episodes here. But if they want to connect on Threads or Instagram, boom, let's make sure you're following me on those platforms. And then the last thing I put on there again is my email address. I want to make sure, and again, this may not be your jam, but for me and my brand, I want to prove to you all that I am here to connect. I am not hard to find. I am showing up. I am ready to coach, connect. And if you are hearing from me, you are hearing from me, not a VA, not AI Adam. And that's the way I put it out there. So I kind of bookend in the intro note. Hey, here's my email. If you have any questions, please get a hold of me. And I encourage them to hit reply and go, hey, what's your biggest podcasting pain point right now that you want to work on? Let me see if I can get some additional resources over to you to help with that. And then at the end, again, here's my email. If you have any questions, please reach out. I would love to connect. And so I kind of bookend with that call to action of emailing me and developing a real relationship. So those are the sections that I included in the new listener resource guide for Podcasting Business School. As far as promoting this, there's some different ways to go about this. Obviously, it's super easy to just do a casual mention every once in a while. I would say at least once a month on your show. Maybe when you first create it, you do a kind of a shorter kickoff episode like I'm doing here. Obviously, that's my strategy here today, is to make you aware of this strategy, but also make you aware that I have a new listener resource guide. And whether you're a new listener or an old listener, download it, check it out, use it as a template. As always, borrow my ideas, make them your own, and go out there, and hopefully it's a success for you and for me. So, I mean, that would be my main promotion strategy, is just kind of that casual drop. And then I know some of you are like, what about the single call to action rule and all of that? This is one of those things that it's almost like a sidebar call to action because it doesn't make sense for everybody. So what I mean by that, let's say you have an open cart, you got a new offer, a new boot camp that you're promoting, and that's your main call to action. I would still mention that in the intro and the outro, but it's totally okay, I think, for you to kind of do a sidebar and go, hey, I know we just got a bunch of new listeners in from the Overcast platform, and I just want to welcome you all. Make sure that you download my new listener resource guide and just name the link, and then say, hey, link in the show notes as well, and then move on with your day. And so just a little casual thing so if your OG listeners already have that, they're not worried about that. That's not going to distract them from your offer. All right. So, but if you wanted to keep that as a single CTA, I'll support that as well. And maybe that's the only thing you promote. But I would just at least try to name drop it once you do an initial thing where you kind of launch it out there. And then, like with this show, with this episode, I'm going to promote my lead magnet, my new listener resource guide on social. I'll put in my email address. Hey, new resource, new technique, go get it. And I'll do a little bit of promotion there. Now, if you are in the boat of my client in the Download Growth Club, where you aren't selling programs, products, and services, you're just looking to grow your email list, I would mention this. Like if you don't have another lead magnet and you don't have offers, I would mention this in every episode. All right. Every single episode. Welcome to our new listeners. Make sure you grab our new listener resource guide. It's full of coupon codes, book recommendations, my best episode recommendations, and make a thing of that and make that your lead magnet. Let's build your dang email list. Now, another strategy that just kind of popped in my mind is like if you're running ads on a podcast player app like Overcast, I'm always talking about running ads, banner ads on Overcast FM. And like right now I've got one running. So I am getting lots of new listeners from that ad. So it makes sense for me to be mentioning this when I'm running ads and getting new listeners. All right. Makes sense. So I'm paying to get new listeners. We're welcoming those new listeners. Hey, for all of our new listeners popping in from the Overcast FM platform, I see you. Make sure you download my new listener resource guide at podcastingbusiness.school/guide. And so kick out something like that and welcome those new listeners. They feel heard, they feel welcomed, they're in your best stuff, and they are now binging on your best episodes. They are downloading your other lead magnets and resources. They are perusing your offers. They are looking at those coupon codes. They are maybe downloading some book recommendations, checking out your affiliate partners, and connecting with you on social media. So I like this a lot. It's kind of a hub. Make sure it's adding value. When you get done with this, look at it with fresh eyes, or even have maybe some of your clients look at it and go, okay, you downloaded this. Do you feel like you got value out of this? We have to be careful, make sure it's not all about us being promoting and we're actually delivering resources and value. We have to be very careful about this. So, curating your most popular episodes, curating your free resources. Then we get a little promoted with the offer and discovery call stuff, but then we give some coupon codes, book recommendations, all that stuff, podcast recommendations. I feel like there needs to be like a 75% value add to 25% promote balance there, maybe even more value add, maybe 80 or 85% value add. And if that's the balance, then we're doing pretty good. If not, let's add some more value add goodness into the mix. Sprinkle it in there, pod pals. All right. I think we're good here. If you all, I mentioned me working with my client in the Download Growth Club. If you're interested in that, if you're interested in just talking about working together, where I'm having these idea spark sessions that created this brand new lead magnet. If you're interested in that, if you're ready to get a little bit of help with launching your show, with growing your show, or building your online business and getting clients from your show, hit me up and let's get set up for a discovery call, a podcast profit potential discovery call. You can go on the main website and click on the discovery call button and we can get connected. All right, pod pals, I appreciate you. I'm going to send you off into the world wishing you health, happiness, and many downloads and many new email opt-ins as well. We'll see you on the next episode. If you need a little bit of help with your podcast launch, growth, or monetization strategy, head on over to my website, www.podcastingbusiness.school, and get signed up for a free podcast profit potential discovery call. During this free 20-minute discovery call session, I'm going to analyze your podcasting brand and tell you where I think you're missing on an opportunity for profits. Next, I'm going to tell you exactly what I suggest that you do as your next step. If I've got an offer that would help you accelerate the process, we can discuss working together as well. So head on over to my website, www.podcastingbusiness.school, and click on the Discovery Call button to schedule your free Podcast Profit Potential Discovery Call.